evening again. We are live from Louisiana tonight. There is no other way to put it right now. Things down here are about to get worse. For starters, cutting and trimming that leaking pipe was interrupted today when the diamond saw they were using got stuck. They freed it, pulled it to a mile to the surface, and decided not to use it anymore. The new plan is to resume cutting with those large shears you saw yesterday, but because they're not as precise as the diamond saw, because they leave jagged edges, that cap they plan to attach to collect the oil, that would have to be modified to fit. Up above, the oil is spreading. There's no doubt about it. 37% of the Gulf now off limits to fishing. Let me just repeat that for you. 37% of the Gulf off limits to fishing. We're talking shrimp, oysters, bluefin tuna. More than a third of their habitat is now in jeopardy. And that's not all. Take a look. These are patches of oil just a few miles off the coast of Pensacola, Florida. Authorities expect it to make landfall within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, meantime, more from BP CEO Tony Hayward. He admitted his company had not been entirely prepared for a leak such as this. Clearly, we knew that. He also issued an apology today for saying he wants this disaster over because he'd like his life back. But then he went on to say, telling the Financial Times that the oil containment effort has been, and I quote, very successful in keeping oil away from the coast. Very successful. Keeping them honest tonight, that is not what we saw today in at least one part of the marshes. The marshes of Paso Lutra are silent. Thick, dark crude covers the water. It coats the reeds. You see no birds, no bugs. Nothing is as it should be. Once the oil's in the marsh, there's really not that much that they can do. You can already see a lot of this is supposed to be green, but as the oil's been sitting here for several weeks now, all these reeds turn yellow. They're basically just dying off. We came here for the first time last week with Governor Bobby Jindal and Billy Nungesser, president of Plaquemines Parish. Today, when we returned, we assumed that with all the promises and plans, this one area, at least, would have been cleaned up. We were wrong. This is the exact spot we were in a week ago, literally the exact same spot. As you can see, all the oil is still here. BP apparently sent people out. They put down some absorbent pads. They replaced the booms. But the oil is back. If it ever really went away, these marshes are dying.
This is just one. There are other areas like this that have gotten this kind of heavy oil. This has been here a couple of weeks, and you've got other areas like this. What we're saying is Louisiana's got over 7,000 miles of our coastline. Let's fight this oil out on barrier islands. Let's fight this oil on a hard, sandy surface. Let's not fight this oil inside here.
So, Billy, when you hear Tony Hayward saying, you know, he wants his life back.
It's embarrassing. How can a human being not have compassion for what's going on here? How can his board not throw him off, fire him?
In addition to cleaning up the marshes, BP has now been ordered to pay for about 40 miles of berms to be built to prevent even more oil from getting into these wetlands. But so far, the governor says they haven't seen any money from BP for the project.
We've said to BP now for days, either cut us a check or get this done yourself. Either way, either sign the contracts or get out of the way and let us do it. We've identified where the dredges are. We've identified the contractors that can get this done. We don't care if they want to get their own dredge, that's fine. They can do it themselves, they can write us a check, but either way, get out of the way, get this done.
For Billy Nungesser, who's been working around the clock, the sight, the smell, it was all too much.
What do those officials at BP meet about when they see this kind of destruction and not want to do everything physically possible to stop it? How do you get to them? How do you get inside their head?
Why is this so emotional for you, Billy?
You don't get the calls I get every night. Shame. This is their lives.
Before leaving, I dip my hand into the oil once more. Without a glove, you feel how warm it is, how thick. It is a sickening feeling. And no matter what BP says they're doing to clean it up, more and more of it is now coming ashore. Joining us now.